We see this look from time to time from the Knights. Third down, St. Clair deep drop back. He's going deep down the field. The pass is caught. Wide open 40, 30. It's Buck Studwell. 15, 10, 5 touchdown. New York. They're going to hand it off to H. Shaw. He got the first down. A championship is coming to New York.
23 seconds, 22 seconds. What are they going to do here? 4 yards from the end zone. Dunhill going to throw again. Dunhill out to Hollywood. BDG Hollywood touchdown! Oh my, the Atlanta Swarm. How about it? Your champions, Georgia. 27-10 over Sioux Falls. Your Atlanta Swarm are title winners. To the right, that's Carr. 2 down from the end. Hand off, Sandlin. Boy, he almost got hit the backfield, and Sandlin breaks it through for a touchdown for Seattle. What a run from Sandlin. He was dead to rights in the backfield and made something out of nothing. They're going to go 5 wide for Wigmore. Wigmore steps up, hit as he threw. Pass is intercepted at the 50 with room to return. It's Albert Begin again. 35-30. Albert Begin. 20, 10. Touchdown, Lone Star. Ivory Irvin not fast enough this time, and the Glory right back in it.
Second and 10 from the 38. Marconi back to pass against another blitz. Marconi's going to avoid a sack. Throw a ball deep down the field. The pass is caught. What a throw! What a throw! Touchdown! Indianapolis to Sabu. Oh my goodness! A slow motion replay here. You've got to be kidding me. SFL is gonna bring out the trophy, and Minneapolis is gonna get to celebrate for the fans that came down. Receivers, 3 to the right side. Tallahassee needs a stop. They haven't gotten one here in the third. And Cochran's go to the end zone. It's caught for a touchdown. And Alaska has 9 points here in the third quarter. That's all she wrote, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations to the Alaska Storm. They are your Season 11 SFL champions.
How about EJ DeCue, Patrick Kelly, and Sean Crooked on that line. Great protection for Jackson. Now Moses is running over people, as are the rest of the Scorpions, and they fight him for a touchdown.
This Matt Wilson's pass is caught for a touchdown. What a throw to Dijon Swan. The Mexico City Aztecs, headlined by team owner Ramos Lin, gets their first SFL championship, a 38-24 victory over Chicago.
Tonight, Wigmore now 10 of 13, 76 yards, 14th pass of the day. Wigmore fires it outside, it's intercepted! John Barnhart, touchdown! Sioux Falls, he does it again for the Sparrows in the postseason!
Showing a blitz on the outside, it's Queen City. Everyone stays home. Darnell Black runs past everybody, picks up a block. Darnell Black in the open field. 40, 35, 30. Being chased by Shine. He won't catch him. And the Hyenas have cut it to 7.
Mama, there goes that man.
Stats all-star crew for a terrific start so far. Third down and 9 to start the second quarter. Ivory Irvin's over the top, and it's a touchdown for Baltimore.
Jark Tarkington has a chance to win it.
Oh my goodness. For all of that, and Tarkington gives Baltimore their 3rd straight title. Oh my goodness.
Well, McChesney gonna get a carry. Oh, there goes McChesney. One man to beat, he breaks it. Jaron McChesney down the sideline. Francis trying to catch him. Not today, young fella. Touchdown Denver, they're right back in it. Down to 15 seconds left. Sully back to pass. He's going to Corky. It is caught. And he puts it down. Touchdown, DC.
Greg Corky is
They got to pull out something miraculous here.
DC can't let him get behind him. They got to keep everything in front of him here. This is the ball game. Daniel Garcia back to pass. He's going to throw it deep to the middle. The pass is caught, and the tackle is made. And the DC Dragons have won the championship by a miracle on Zach Sully's throw to Greg Corky. And I let the fellas give me a breath.
Every journey begins with a single step. For the SFL, that journey began June 15th, 2013, with the New York Knights and Dallas Stars. Tonight, a new quest begins as we celebrate the league's 20th season. Sunday night simulation football rolls on here in Indianapolis as the Ramblers in their sophomore season host one of the best franchises in the league, the Florida Storm. Hello folks, I'm Tyler Falk. Welcome along to week 1, live from the Snake Pit here in Indianapolis, as both of these teams are hoping to start their season off with a victory. One of the biggest storylines coming off of the offseason was Optimus Klein selling his San Diego Mavericks and returning to Florida, where he was a part of the first ever championship three-peat. To help me break down that nugget and to join me once again in the booth this season is my friend and favorite Canadian, Brett Solberg.
Oh, you're too nice, Tyler. I know that there's a lot of Canadians out in this league right now. I surely can't be your favorite, but let me explain why I'm your favorite here. For the Florida Storm, you've got a bunch of experience coming into this season compared to last season, where they were a little bit behind the foot in the offensive side, whereas for Indianapolis, tons of inexperience, but a lot of youth and energy coming in. This is a clash of philosophies here tonight. Let's see what happens here. Kickoff right away.
And here we go. Season 20 is underway for the Ramblers and the Storm. On the return here for the Storm is Optimus Klein, as he makes his first return and first play back in the light blue and dark blue, as we welcome back his quarterback, Ron Cochran. All you have to know about Ron Cochran, if you've never seen him before, is remember the number on his uniform, number 3. He is third most all time in completions, attempts, yards, and touchdowns. And he starts off season 20 under center, back to pass over the middle. It's an awkward one, trying to connect with Baradin Zarkov, the tight end, and it falls incomplete.
Yeah, and Florida really wants to get themselves going offensively here this season, with Ron Cochran really taking a step back compared to last season. We're talking about bottom in the league in yards, completion percentages, and even touchdowns. He only threw for 14 touchdowns last season. That is a low number for his standards. He wants to improve it this season.
It was his worst statistical season on record since joining the league all those 12 seasons ago. But it didn't hurt Florida's season, as they finished 8-5, all told, through the regular and postseason. That last pass there goes to Stephen Push on an out route for 3 yards.
Yeah, and I think this season they're going to continue relying on that running back once they get their offense going. In the bullet, Charlie Boletsky, he was a dynamo for him this season with this past season with 13 touchdowns and just about 1,200 yards. He's going to want to follow up to that this season too.
Bunch set top of your screen. Cochran takes a 7-step deep drop. Pressure coming. Launches it over the middle. And that one is nearly intercepted by Bryant James, the strong safety. A all-star from a season ago. And it's a quick 3-and-out for Florida. And we talked about third downs for Florida's offense coming into today's game. Partner, not their best strong suit in season 19.
Yeah, 24th in the league, under half, 48% last season. And that's a number that they desperately need to improve on the most out of this season. And right now, 0 for 1 from this 3 straight passes. A very unorthodox offense to start.
So it's the first punt of the season for Marcus Agrippa, who punts it to Kanye Rockefeller inside his own 30. Makes a man miss and gets out to the 33-yard line. On trotting to the field here in friendly confines is the quarterback, Colin Pierce. He's got 41 touchdowns and 63 interceptions in his career. He had half his total number of interceptions in touchdowns. He had 31 interceptions, partner, 15 touchdowns, something he wants to improve on in his second season with the Ramblers. Will also start under center. Behind him off center is his brother Christian Pierce, who gets the handoff, trying to stretch it out to the outside, going nowhere. He'll be knocked backwards a yard by Davidson, and it's a loss of 1 to begin matters here as we introduce you to the rest of the Ramblers offense. Christian Pierce is the tailback, along with wide receivers Ryan Roosevelt, Jeff Banfield, Jay Viper, and Rob Hunt. Tight end is Randy Pierce, the father of Cullen and Oh, and a Christian lineman, or Chad Rowland and Max Van Lith, pass over the middle as a dart. A dime over the middle to Roosevelt, who gets his first reception and the Ramblers' first down of the season.
And that's the capability that Colin Pierce has as a young quarterback in this league. He's got that youthful arm that could just zip passes, and he's got a bevy of wide receivers to choose from as well. Along with Roosevelt, you got to think of Jeff Banfield and Jay Viper.
Brother hands off to brother here for only a 1-yard pickup. That'll get Christian back to a net total of 0 as Stephen Black is there to greet him.
Yeah, and one of the big issues that I had last season with Indianapolis was their running game. And you look solely at Christian Pierce. Last season, averaging just over 2.5 yards per carry. That ain't going to cut it here in the SFL.
4 wideouts here for Indy here on a second down play. Quick drop, floater over the middle is caught. First down again here for Indianapolis as Colin finds Jeff Banfield for a pickup of 15+.
Yeah, and this is what Indianapolis needs to do. They need to strike early against a Florida team that can score at will if you let them. It's basically Indianapolis's chance to get ahead early in this first quarter.
All start for the first drive of the season here for the Ramblers. Quick drop, quick out is caught by the tight end Randy Pierce. That's a good gain of 8 yards as he's taken down by Evan Carroll, the starting quarterback for the Florida Storm. And let's introduce you now to that Storm defense. Deontay Stoneville, Alex Dominguez, Big Sexy, Pete Mitchell, and Alessandro Tamaello are the linemen, with Aaron Gooden, Stephen Black, and Ryan Tobin manning the linebacking spots. Evan Carroll, Adam Jones, Ryan Davidson are the corners, with Adrian Blaine and Andrew Francis at the safety spots. Stretch play near side, gets out of one tackle, finding a first down, but will pay the price for it. Black again with a heavy hit.
Yeah, and right now this Indianapolis offense is doing a great mix of run and pass to keep that Florida defense guessing, and that's going to be big for this drive. If they can continue making the Florida defense guess, it's going to leave some open holes for Pierce to throw that football.
3.5 minutes gone. Now here in the first quarter, Pierce stepping up into the pocket, firing into a sea of defenders, and somehow coming down with it is the tight end Randy Pierce.
And I thought that was easily intercepted by Evan Carroll, but this time you trust on that big tight end, which he's done so far well in this drive, getting it to Randy Pierce, and a fantastic catch and great job to secure the football after a big hit from Carroll.
Colin is cooking as we go inside the red zone for the first time tonight. 4 of 4 and already close to 50 yards through the air. Looking to throw again here on 1st and 10. Little floater right side, make him 5 for 5 now as the wide receiver gets out of bounds, nearly broke that tackle. And it's a 2nd and 8 coming up from Florida's 4.
And now Jay Viper is the 4th receiver to get a catch in this drive alone. This has been fantastic spreading of the wealth from Indianapolis and Colin Pierce, which has led them to the 4-yard line.
Back under center now goes Colin. 9 men in the box here for Florida, expecting run. Here comes a run. Christian Pierce out of 1. Can't get out of 2 in time. A touchdown-saving tackle from Evan Carroll at the goal line.
And that could be debated, in my personal opinion. It all depends on where those knees fall. It could have been just behind the goal line, which it looks like the referee is going to place the football at. You're talking about 1st and chest hair to the end zone.
Goal line formation here for Florida's defense. Offset up, single back for Indy. Passing play, back in the end zone. It's for Randy, but Randy has his feet out of bounds, incomplete.
Just led that ball a little bit too far high, Colin Pierce did, and when you have to adjust as a receiver to try to get your feet in the end zone while catching a high football, it's tough. So I give credit for Randy Pierce for trying to secure that catch in bounds.
Another single back set, another goal line set here for Florida. 2nd and goal from the 1/2 yard line. Stretch play right side. Christian Pierce lowers the shoulder. In he goes. Touchdown, Indianapolis Ramblers.
Great work all around from the Indianapolis offense. Great protection from the quarterback. Great receiving core to get the good catches. Colin Pierce spreading the wealth between his running back and all of his receivers. Randy Pierce being the benefactor with his 2 receptions out of this. This is what Indianapolis needs to do in this game and throughout the season. Keep the defense guessing. 6 on the board for the Ramblers.
Only Christian Pierce's 4th touchdown in his career. His 3rd rushing touchdown after spending 1 season with San Diego in their high-flying passing offense. He gets his first drive to get his first touchdown with Indy to put them 7-0 on top here against Florida on a very impressive 11-play, 66-yard drive.
Just fantastic work from Indianapolis, but now it's Florida's time to respond. You got quickly outed from a punt, 3 and out. Now you have to respond after Indianapolis chewed a lot of clock to get themselves 7.
So Indy will get us going once again. The kick is on its way to Optimus Klein. We'll see if he can make a good return here on this one. He's cut down at the 27-yard line, they'll say he got to. And on comes the Florida offense. They have struggled, partner, in first games of the season as the Florida Storm. Only 2-4 at when they've been here in Florida. They're 7-5 as a franchise. That includes their time spent as Alaska. Now to change things after a 3 and out on the opening drive. What can they do here? The Bullet gets the call. He spins out of a tackle, spins out of another one, and the Bullet will pick up 9 on his first impressive run of the night.
And this was the run Florida needed to start this game off on the first drive. It had me guessing why Florida went with 3 straight passes to start off this game when you have Bullet Boletsky, a guy who can change the game just on his feet alone. And there you see it right there with an immediate 9 yards.
Second and short here for the Storm. And up the middle, the Bullet has himself an easy hole to run through, and we'll get to the 40-yard line for a first down. And let's introduce you to the rest of that Storm offense. We've talked about Ron Cochran and Charlie Boletsky, the quarterback and halfback. Stephen Bush, Art Vandelay, E.J. Minson, and Optimus Klein are the wideouts. Bard and Zarkov, Ron Haynes, the tight ends. And in the trenches at the left and right guards, respectively, are Finley and Leroy James. Cochran over the middle, diving attempt at a catch from E.J. Minson, and that falls incomplete. Cochran a little bit unsteady here in the first quarter.
Yeah, and that one was just a tough one-on-one battle between E.J. Minson. It looked to be Kanye Rockefeller on that other side, just defending that one-on-one. Maybe a little bit of bumping action going on there, but nothing to really institute a defensive pass interference on that one, and it just led to that ball being overthrown.
2nd and 10 as they went back to the air for the first time on this drive. That pass fell incomplete. 2nd and 10. Cochran again looking to throw into coverage. That time it is caught by Vardan Zarkov, the tight end, on a quick hitter across the middle. Picks up 15 and a Florida first down.
Yeah, and that one was just great awareness from the wily veteran in Riverboat, Ron Cochran, just finding the opening hole. It was just a missed assignment from that linebacker. Adam Wiseman had to recognize that that was his man. He's got to cover, and it left Zarkov wide open for that 15-yard gain.
3rd first down, all told, including the opening play on the drive here for the Storm. Now inside Indianapolis territory for the first time tonight. Cochran out route near side again, looking for Stephen Bush, picks up 5. And now let's introduce you to the Ramblers defense. Rocco Rossi, Mac Dre, Derek Jenko, and Jabril Curse are the D linemen. Adam Wiseman, Chris Britton III, Chad McDevitt are the linebackers, with Blake Prine, Angel Maldonado, and Ernest McRae Sr., and Adam Nold at corner, with Kanye Rockefeller and Bryant James at safety. 3 wideouts here for Cochran on 3rd down. Pressure coming out of one, but not out of the second one. Down he goes for the first sack of the season for Matt Dre.
And a great attempt from Ron Cochran to get out of the way of Derek Genko on that first attempt. But when you have a swarm of Ramblers getting ready for you, you're going to get hit eventually. Mac Dre, there you go. Get a sack on the board, mate.
His first sack of his career. Cochran on 3rd and 11, hit as he throws a floater, and it's knocked aside incomplete. Impressive coverage from Prine, and Florida will have to settle for their second punt of the ball game.
And you gotta love the burst of speed from Prine as well. All credit to Cochran from still throwing the football rather accurately while getting hit. But great job, an even better job from Blake Prine. He was about 4 yards out of that pass starting off, and he managed to just turn on the jets and just get his hands on the football again, forcing Florida to punt this football away.
Here once again comes Marcus Agrippa. He'll punt this one away. He angles it toward the near sideline. Rockefeller going to elect to return it at the 10-yard line, and he gets a couple of yards for his trouble, only up the 14-yard line. Slow to get up, but there he goes. If you're new to the Simulation Football League, the SFL combines traditional sports, esports, and a role-playing game into one. Team strategies are being executed in real time by our simulations as real-life players compete on the virtual gridiron. For more information about the SFL, visit our website at simulationfl.net. The SFL, we put the fan in fantasy. 3 wide here for Colin Pierce. To begin the drive, out route near side is caught by Ryan Roosevelt for a gain of 4.
Yeah, and Indianapolis just needs to continue moving forward as they've been doing so far in this first quarter here. They're finding accurate throws, keeping Colin Pierce extremely accurate throughout this game. So this first quarter so far, 6 of 7. That is what you want out of your quarterback.
Like to go to this formation early and often, at least here in the first quarter. Bunch set near side with a one wide receiver locked in sight. That one's passed over the middle. Black making a big impact already here in the first quarter with a couple of hefty tackles and nearly came away with an interception there.
Yeah, right place, right time for Stephen Black there, but this time he just can't get his hands on that football. But Florida will take this at this point because it stops Indianapolis from moving forward, and it forces them into a third down, which I believe is only the second time in this quarter. So now it's time to lock them down and force them to punt this football away.
Deep drop pass right side is swatted away. Great defensive effort from Adam Jones, and that will send out the punting unit for the first time tonight for Indy.
And there's that Florida defense that helped them get that 8-win record last season. We talk about a team that was great at defending points, only allowing less than 25 points per game. Top 5 in passing touchdowns allowed, and they were second in the league in takeaways last season with 39. They're an elite defense, and they need this defense to show up the rest of the game against this Indianapolis team that is hungry.
One negative thing about Florida last season, especially on defense, was third downs. Worst in the league at getting teams off the field. However, they start off on the right foot on one of their first third downs of the season. And they will force the punt from Indy. Down by 7. Out comes Ron Cochran once again. 2 punts here to begin season 20 for Florida, partner. Something's got to click here for Florida.
But this is easily their best field position coming in pretty much at midfield after stopping Indianapolis deep. So they need to take advantage of this one.
4 wide for Cochran to begin the drive. He'll look to pass. Left side wide open is E.J. Minson, but led him a bit too far, incomplete.
Yeah, I think that's a completion. I think this is a challengeable offense here. There's easily at least 1 foot in bounds myself. I don't know if they're going to make that call. It doesn't look like they will. They're going to continue on second down here. But Minson was wide open, like you said. And, if it was about a second earlier, that could have been a catch and run for a 15-yard gain.
Art Vandelay, the head coach for Florida, were keeping the red hanky in his pocket for now. 2nd and 10. This time,
that's the one.
It's hot, and it won't matter because it's a first down on that play. That picks up 11.
Yeah, that's the pass you want to make on that out route. As soon as the cut happens to the outside, you want to have that ball out of your hands heading towards the target. That is a great adjustment from Ron Cochran just to fix his motion in his cadence to make sure he throws that, get that first down on that catch and run from Minson.
Valetsky departs the field for now with 4 wide receivers. Cochran under center. Looking to throw, slant pattern over the middle. Hot. First down here for Florida.
And now we're getting to veteran times here. in Florida. Now Optimus Klein gets himself his first catch of the season back in the light blues of Florida, the electric blues I like to call them, because that offense can be electric whenever Optimus Klein is out on the field, no matter what team he plays for.
Very tall, prolific receiver in times past. Did make the switch to tight end for a little bit during his time as the owner of San Diego. It's good to see him back at the wide receiving role here in his friendly confines of Florida. Cochran going to look to throw again on first down, looking outside, caught by Bush. That's a pickup, a 7, and he's ushered out of bounds by Ernest McCray Sr.
Yeah, and now their passing game is starting to come into fruition here, and now Ron Cochran is finally above that 50% mark in terms of completion. That's now 6 of 11 for him as he continues to, maybe shake off that rust that he had this offseason and, try to improve from his less than stellar last season.
Go with the ground game, Boletsky only able to manage a single yard, and it's Adam Wiseman who comes up with the tackle.
Yeah, and just looking at the split so far for Florida, we're talking 11 passes to 3 carries in this first quarter. Very unbalanced so far. We're used to seeing a lot more carries from Boletsky. Maybe they're saving him for the second half.
Shotgun set. Cochran had a little extra time, but he tried to fit it in to Varden Zarkov. It falls incomplete. A host of Rambler defenders in the area, and it's 4th down.
And that one was a really risky pass from Cochran there. Once that ball was set off, there was about 3 gray jerseys around the vicinity of Zarkov that could have had at least a pass deflection at any point. But seeing that the ball was a little bit overthrown, there wasn't any bother to try to grab that football. And now we're going to see the kicking unit get 3 points here.
Ethan Sneed last season 24 of 26 in his career. He's 159 of 164. Make it 160 total field goals made for Ethan Sneed as he puts Florida on the board for the first time here in season 20.
Yeah, and maybe Florida fans are a little bit disheartened by just the result of that end of the drive there. It just seemed like the drive kind of fizzled out at the wrong time. But you have to take points where you get them right now. And with Florida's defense starting to step up here and forcing Indianapolis to punt the football a few times now, it's now time for Florida's defense to respond in kind.
Kicks away here for Roccavella, who's about 3 steps deep in his own end zone, takes it out, angling to the far side, and he will eventually net positive on the return up to the 23-yard line, and that is where the Ramblers' offense will take over with just under a minute to go in the first quarter.
Yeah, and I think right now for Indianapolis is just making sure that that offense stays consistent through the end of this first quarter and carrying it over to the second quarter where they can maybe make some damage and try to extend this lead.
Pierce will be back to throw, 2-step drop, looking near side, caught, turning up field is Jeff Banfield for a first down. That's a good start to the drive.
Yeah, and that's what you need, a quick first down out of this, and they're going to shed a little bit of clock there just to end this first quarter. They don't need to do anything pretty right now. Just, continue doing what they're doing right now and going to that wide receiver core. I think out of those wide receivers, Jeff Banfield is going to be the guy to watch. Roosevelt is right now their de facto number 1, but a lot of people have had their eyes on Roosevelt for a while, so Banfield might be left open throughout this season.
And poor Christian Pierce fighting his way through defenders. That is something we rarely saw last season in San Diego. He picks up 7, and that might be the final play of the first quarter.
And that's when Indianapolis needs from their running game in Christian Pierce to just get those big yards, that 5 to 7 yard push that they need from their running backs. That's going to be big for them this season.
Not too much to separate these two clubs here to begin the regular season besides the scoreline. Indianapolis 7, Florida 3. You're watching this Simulation Football League right here on SFL YouTube. Welcome back to the Snake Pit here in Indianapolis. Tyler Falk alongside Brett Solberg. Happy to have your company here on this Sunday evening. And near side, Christian Pierce breaking out of 2 tackles is Pierce, and he picks up the first down.
And there's that quick progression that we've seen from Christian Pierce over the course of just this offseason. He's a little bit stronger. He can shed off a few more tackles. And those are some hefty guys to kind of shed off to get, just the 4 yards for a first down. They need to continue getting that from Christian Pierce in this game if they want to, continue splitting that run and passing game that they've done fairly well so far with.
Pierce is right around 22 yards already tonight, which is just over a tenth the yards he got in San Diego, all told, entirely last season. He picks up one more here.
Yeah, and again, that balance of offense so far for Indianapolis, that is going to be Pierce's 8th carry in this game, and Colin Pierce has attempted 10 passes. So great job balancing that offense again, making Florida guess, and it's resulted in this drive at least moving forward a little bit more.
3-3 nickel look out of Florida here as Indy go into the gun on second down. Quick hitter underneath to Christian Pierce, but Florida was all over that one. Nothing doing. Ryan Tobin, among others, there to make the tackle behind the line.
Yeah, if you're going to have a halfback screen play, you've got to have guys to protect in front of your running back, and there was absolutely zero protection. So it was just feasting time for that Florida defense to get Pierce behind the line.
4 wide with Colin Pierce under center. 3rd and long. Colin, corner route. Got it!
Oh.
Left side for Ryan Roosevelt inside the 30-yard line.
And that is the capability of their top wide receiver in Ryan Roosevelt. That post route, always deadly in the SFL, and you've got to know the right time to utilize that play. Get it over the hands of the ever-elite Evan Carroll and get past the free safety in Adrian Blaine. This time gets Roosevelt big yardage, now in field goal range.
That turns momentum of the drive surely on its head. Handoff through the middle. Christian Pierce fighting his way for 5 yards before Black can bring him down.
Yeah, and that's a good down starter for them to get Christian Pierce involved, get those 5 yards, open up that playbook for second down. They can go back to Pierce, see if he can get any more yards, if not a first down right away, or they can go pass right to it, see if they can get that touchdown from 23 yards out.
Another run left side for Christian, but he can't go anywhere. This time he's bottled up in the backfield. A loss of 3. Deontay Stoneville there in the backfield.
Yeah, and Florida's really going to want to start keying in on Pierce now that he's getting a little bit more involved in this offense, and he's starting to gain some yards that are big for this Indianapolis squad. Rely on their cornerbacks here on this 3rd down to swat some passes.
And he finds someone else. Christian into coverage. Got it!
Oh, my Lord.
Wow, what a pass! Finding Viper for the first down in the red zone.
And now, again, talking about 4 receivers getting involved. Now it's 4 receivers with more than 1 reception in this game already. And look at the threading of the needle early on for Colin Pierce. That is about the 2nd or 3rd time that we have seen just impressive throws from this young quarterback already, and we're not even through the first half.
Already over 100 yards passing here for Colin Pierce. Looking to add on to it here from the 11-yard line of Florida. Looks to throw, finding a target near side. It's Viper again for a pickup of 5.
Yeah, it's another big 5 yards there. And again, earlier I talked about the spreading of the wealth. And again, they're just doing a fantastic job in getting each receiver involved here. The only one I haven't seen involved yet is Rob Hunt. He's got a target to his name, but not a catch yet. Don't be too shocked if they go his way to get that, unsuspecting touchdown.
Bunch set, left-hand side, single back. Stoneville jumps offside. Floater left side for Christian. Turning upfield, lowering the shoulder, but he's just a yard shy of the end zone. This will depend on whether or not they take the penalty.
Yeah, it all depends on how this penalty is going to be portrayed as well. If they are going to take this penalty, is this going to result in half the distance to the end zone since they're inside the 5? And that'll be all dependent.
It also will not result in a first down, partner. Very interesting call to go with the penalty and not the yards.
Yeah, and I think I think it was an easy decision because I don't think Pierce got that first down either. So they'll take a 2nd and 2 instead of a 3rd and inches.
Defenders back off, looking for a throw. End zone, touchdown! Ryan Roosevelt and Indianapolis is stretched out their lead.
And this is big for Indianapolis. We know the capabilities of Florida's offense throughout the seasons, throughout the years, to get themselves into big leads. But now Indianapolis, another shot to the gut, proverbially, if we're talking from a boxing sense, this time finding Ryan Roosevelt. And it doesn't have to be any flashy plays to get yourself some points. Indianapolis has played some hard-nosed offense. Duck and dip every now and again to get those first downs and get the touchdown. 13-3 right now.
This is only the second double-digit drive for Indianapolis, but both double-digit drives has resulted in touchdowns. A 12-play, 67-yard drive culminating with that out-route touchdown to Ryan Roosevelt. And partner, you were talking about spreading the wealth. Take a look at this. Ryan Roosevelt leads the team right now, 4 receptions. Viper, 3 receptions. Banfield, 2 receptions. Randy Pierce, 2 receptions. And Christian Pierce, 1 reception. Colin is on fire tonight, 12 of 15.
That's what they need out of this Indianapolis offense, just to keep that defense guessing.
Here comes Optimus Klein on the return. Tries to angle it near side. Breaks out of a tackle at his ankles and is able to get to the 30-yard line. Liking the game so far, smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. The SFL produces over 400 events a year. There is no one else that gives you more football. Don't miss a minute of SFL or SFLM action and help the channel grow through your support. Thank you for helping the SFL reach 10 years of operation through your viewership. Cochran starts to drive with the pass to the right side as the wide receiver falls down. That's Stephen Bush picking up 5 yards.
Yeah, and now for Florida, it's got to be not a full desperation, but it's got to be in the back of your heads that Indy scored 2 touchdowns, and you've only got a field goal to your name so far halfway through this second quarter. You've got to get that offense rolling here, and why not start with a nice 5-yard pass to open up that playbook for second down?
You're seeing a lot of passes tonight out of Rod Cochran. Here he goes to look again to the air out of the gun. 4-man blitz from Indy, another out route to Bush, and that connection is working rather well. They will say the ball went out of bounds with Bush behind the line to gain, so it brings up a 3rd and 1.
Yeah, and this isn't what Florida wants to do here, is to get into basically a gun shootout between the two quarterbacks. Get Boletsky involved, and this would be perfect on this 3rd and 1.
You go into a heavier set than we've been used to seeing so far. Linebackers shift to the weak side as they get Boletsky in the backfield. No gain for Charlie, and it's 4th down. Another quick 3 and out for Florida.
An absolute perfect read from the Indianapolis defense, knowing it was a 3rd and short situation, and the passing game hasn't been as effective as Florida wanted, so they were going to go to Bullett's way, and they stopped him on Bullett's left side. Fantastic work from Indy to get this football back with just over 5 to go in this second quarter.
So out comes Marcus Agrippa for the 3rd time tonight. A nice shifty move from Rockefeller on the return, but down he goes at the 23-yard line of Indianapolis, and out comes this offense again. They have looked, the Ramblers offense, mightily impressive from a season ago.
Yeah, and 2 out of their 3 drives, consisting of 23 plays in total, is great work. And just a minute and 27 seconds later, you're back on offense. Let's see what Indy can do here.
3 wide here on 1st down. They go with a run for Christian Pierce through the middle, gets 5 yards. Lots of nice blocking there. I did see a corner trying to sneak in and cut him down, but good agility from Pierce to find the positive yardage.
Yeah, and already you can see this season just the shift in offensive philosophy from Indianapolis here. We saw a lot of, trying to go with those power runs, but this time we've seen a couple of these outside runs with that offensive line blocking very well.
Now for more maybe of a power style run, they go up the middle. True this time picks up 4 yards. Ryan Davidson says hello, and it's 3rd and short.
Yeah, and you know what? We're going into the same scenario, just flipping teams. 3rd and 1. We've gone with 2 runs in a row so far for Indianapolis. Are they going to do 3 in a row to see if they can get that first down from 1.5 yards from the line?
Post bunch on 3rd down, and they go for a home punch to the tight end, Randy Pierce, and he's inside Florida territory to the 43. Where did that play come from?
And you can tell, not even just Tyler not expecting that. The Florida defense wasn't expecting a deep pass on 3rd and 1.5, and Randy Pierce, wide open, tight end from 10+ yards out, just air that thing down. Perfect play call from Indianapolis.
Caught everybody off guard, and the drive continues on here for the Ramblers. They ramble on, so to speak. 1st and 10, handoff. Christian gets caught behind the line, and Stephen Black alongside Pete Mitchell make him pay.
Yeah, and that's what Florida needs to do. They just need to eliminate just one facet of Indianapolis's offense and force them into a one-dimensional game to get themselves back, into their traditional defensive style and limit Indianapolis from moving the football.
2nd and 13, they go back to the same play, and Florida's there to say hello again. Tamaello there in the backfield. It's a loss of 4.
Yeah, now the defensive line's starting to wake up here for Florida. We talked about Pete Mitchell earlier. We've talked about Deontay Stoneville getting a TFL. And now, look at the TFL list so far for Florida. That's number 6 in this first half for them.
All right, Indy, what have you got in your bag of tricks here from the 50-yard line? 3rd and long. Pierce looks underneath.
Oh, man.
And dropped by Rob Hunt. Another target. 2 targets on the day, unfortunately for the rookie. Can't hold that one in.
And you can see all the corners and the safeties dialing it back, knowing that they had a country mile to get to that first down at least. It left Hunt open, but he wasn't ready for that pass. It just bobbles loose out of his fingertips and forces Indianapolis to punt this football on a drive that looked promising to start.
Rob Hunt coming off of the field, looking at his hands. Coach Chad Rowland giving his rookie a little bit of encouragement. Still a long way to go here tonight, and a long way to go here in the season, looking for his first career reception. And the kick is away. Punt. Here comes Optimus Klein. Dragged down from behind. That took a little extra effort to bring down the speedy return man after he gets to the 24-yard line. Want in-depth statistics all season long? Visit the SFL website at simulationfl.net for info about the league and its 28 teams, and to see all the league records, team stats, player leaderboards, the rankings of the next class of SFL talent, and so much more. SimulationFL.net, your home for everything SFL. And Boletsky has had some real trouble here on the ground as he gets sent backward for a loss of 3.
Yeah, it's not only Boletsky, but both running games have had a little bit of struggles, despite Christian Pierce, getting these 5-6 yard plays every now and again. We still have to look at the fact that both Boletsky and Christian Pierce are kind of flirting on that 2 yards per carry kind of area. So both run defenses have been very stout for both the Storm and the Ramblers.
Has forced Ron Cochran to air the ball out just a little bit more than I think Florida would have wanted. Out route near side finds Minson. Minson will pick up the 3 yards lost on first down, and it'll be back to a 3rd and 10. Here as we close in on the 2-minute warning. Indianapolis in the lead. It's 14-3. Are Florida still cursed here in week 1? Still plenty of time to find out what happens. You're watching Sunday Night Simulation Football here on SFL YouTube, presented by 8 PM Music. Don't go anywhere. Two minutes to go here from the Snake Pit in Indianapolis, Indiana. Florida down by 11. Closing in on halftime, needing to make something happen. 3 punts and a field goal, all to show for it. Pass underneath to the wide open tight end is caught. Zarkov picks up 7, and that's not enough for the first down.
Yeah, and we're talking about getting those first downs. You mentioned it earlier with Florida having struggles on 3rd down efficiencies. Let's just compare the two teams already here. Indianapolis, 3 of 5 on third down efficiency so far in this first half. Florida, 0 for 5.
That is not a good statistic to have, especially as Florida are known in seasons past to be really good on offense, especially way back in season 12 when they went completely unbeaten and led to their second of 3 championships. Punt is away. Now for Marcus Agrippa, and Rockefeller makes yet another return up to about his own 33-yard line. They let the clock run down, and now Indy only has a minute and 9 seconds to go here before we reach halftime.
And now it's decision time for Indianapolis. You're still going to get the football back in the third quarter, but do you want to run up the score and have yourself a more comfortable lead going into the locker room, or are you going to settle and just run this 69 seconds left and get to the locker room then?
Safety Adrian Blaine creeps down into the middle part of the defense. Colin looking over the middle, double coverage, but that's not been a problem at all tonight. He finds Roosevelt for another big gainer, and it's 1st and 10 again.
They're going aggressive here, Tyler.
There's again under center, linebackers and safety now showing blitz, but they all back off. Dump off left side for Christian Pierce. He picks up no gain out of bounds at the line of scrimmage.
And, again, another shocking catch from these Indy wide receivers. That has been the story of this game so far for Indianapolis. The third time I've verbally said, how is that a catch? After, seeing a man go with the ground, I was thinking maybe another interception, but no, another catch.
Colin is playing some dangerous games with the franchise last season. That was tops in takeaways a season ago. That one's ball. It's just as I say it. It's picked up. Going the other way for a pick 6. Andrew Francis. Touchdown, Florida. Talk about a commentator's curse.
Well, if you don't have your offense going, why not rely on your defense? Great work from Florida to just adjust in this last play to figure out where Colin Pierce was going to throw that football. First off, great deflection made first by the linebacker and Andrew Francis. Ryan Tobin, great deflection, but Andrew Francis, right guy at the right time to get that deflection into his hands and run to the end zone. Clear on the left side. Nobody was going to touch him.
I don't know if my voice is magic, partner, but I said it. I spoke it into existence. I am sorry, Indianapolis. I have no idea what's going on anymore. On to tack on the extra point is Ethan Sneed to bring this game to within 4 points. Snap spot kick is up, and it's good. 14-10 after the pick 6 by Andrew Francis.
And I think regardless of if Indianapolis wins or loses this game, they're going to have your head with the flat cap on a dartboard, ready to throw as many tungsten darts as they can to any part of your face.
Most definitely. They won't even need my face. They'll just take a random flat cap lying around and put it in a big old bin and light it on fire after this game if they do so end up losing. Rockefeller on the return gets the 22-yard line, and hopefully for Indianapolis, this drive results in something positive for them.
All right, hard reset, Indianapolis. A quick pick 6 gets you the football back. You're still up in this game. 14-10, 4-point lead, 33 seconds left. Do you stay with that aggression, try to get that lead that you had back, or are you going to settle and shed the 33 seconds off?
Pierce looking to throw again. This time it is hauled in by Banfield, who picks up another big gain to the 40-yard line. Clock winding down to 20 seconds.
They're still going aggressive here, Tyler. I like this.
Now we go with a run. Christian Pierce near side, looking for the first down. Can't. Just at midfield. Clock now at 10 seconds. Still have all 3 timeouts.
Yeah, they got to look at taking a timeout soon here.
5 seconds to go. Now they call a timeout from the 50-yard line. They have 2 timeouts remaining. Poor clock management, it must be said, here from Indianapolis, as they will get the ball to start the second half, but you have to wonder, after that pick 6, you might have wanted to try something else to see if you can get more points back on the board.
You know what, Tyler? I'm going to disagree with you there on the poor clock management. I think it was just a poor hurry up on that third time when they were trying to hurry things up. Nobody was properly set and went, because they could have probably hiked that ball at 7 seconds and at least get a play out of it, but nobody was set enough. And once it got to 3, they had to take that time out.
Oh, here comes a Hail Mary to end off the first half. Colin is brought down from behind. Nothing doing. It's a sack by Tamayalo, and that will bring matters to a close here in quarter number 2. Indianapolis 14, Florida coming back into this one at 10. And I think, partner, the tides of change are upon us after the pick 6.
It's tough to say right now because if you look at it just stat-wise, look at the just comparisons on the screen that we see right now. Time of possession doubled, more than doubled on the total yards. The rushing yards nearly tripled. The passing yards well more than doubled. And just in comparisons in second quarter alone, Indianapolis had Florida beat in total yards by nearly 10 times the amount, 116 to Florida's 16 yards, which included -3 rushing yards, which is a great credit to Indianapolis's rush defense to completely eliminate and neutralize the threat that is Bullet Boletsky throughout this first half. They need to continue doing that in efforts to get Indianapolis to win this game. But like you said, possibly the winds of change we've seen just from that pick 6 from Andrew Francis to get Florida back in this game. Is that a sign of things to come for Florida? Will they wake up in this game, proverbially? We don't know until that third quarter kickoff happens, Tyler. But right now, I'm still erring on the side of Indianapolis' elite offense right now.
And it has to be said, barring that one pick 6 from Colin Pierce, he has been phenomenal today. 16 of 21 for right around 170 yards. And this wide receiving core has been fantastic.
Yeah, and it's all about that spread of the wealth. That's what we've been talking about throughout this first half. Roosevelt has 5 receptions. Banfield, Randy Pierce, Jay Viper have 3 receptions. Christian Pierce has 2 of his own, despite it ending off being -2 yards. But at the end of the day, if you don't have one receiver to rely on, you have a wealth of receivers going to you. It's going to end up leading to points, and that's what we've seen out of Indianapolis with 1 touchdown pass and 1 quick one on the ground.
And so we welcome you back to the Snake Pit here in Indianapolis. I'm Tyler Falk alongside Brett Solberg, and we're underway here at the Snake Pit for the second half. Rockefeller trying to make a return back out of the 20. He'll be stopped a yard shy, and that is how the third quarter gets underway. It is time now for Indianapolis's third offensive drive in a row. Maybe this time they can get their lead back.
Yeah, and right now, Indianapolis with that football back, this is a time to shift momentum back to their side. Let's see if they start things off with a Christian Pierce run.
Back ace formation, hand off right side, Christian Pierce, and he is going nowhere. Back for a loss of 1 as we shoot it over to SFL headquarters for the first time tonight. Cam, what you got for us?
Thanks, Tyler. 3D chess on defense in the Portland and Minnesota game, but it's Cyrus Jive hitting Ezekiel Love for a touchdown, just squeezing it in on the sideline. Portland has a 7-6 lead over the Legend, although Malillo about to put them back up with another field goal.
Thanks, Cam. Another deep shot over the middle, and there goes Roosevelt across the 50 into Florida Storm territory. Wow! Colin Pierce is unleashing the dragon.
And here I was talking about in this game that Jeff Banfield might be the guy to look for in this game in this season. But if you leave Ryan Roosevelt wide open, this is what you're going to get out of him. He's not a guy that's, has got super flashy numbers or anything like that. We're talking about a guy that had 839 yards and 4 touchdowns last season, but he had plenty of targets to work for, and now he's paying it off in this game.
Oh, another one. This was caught again. Roosevelt again inside the 15, and the war cry is let Colin Pierce cook.
Man, and you talk about two fantastic throws from Colin Pierce. Forget forget Ryan Roosevelt for a second, even though he's made two fantastic catches. That's a mossing. Unbelievable. But Colin Pierce throwing absolute darts out there. What a response after that pick six to have such great throws again, getting back into the form that he had in that first quarter. Great work.
And just like that, they're knocking on the end zone door. And another offside. Second one of the ball game for Stoneville coming up. Sidearm sling from Pierce out to his brother Christian behind the line. It won't matter. 5 yards upcoming on the penalty.
Yeah, and one of the things that isn't too bad for Florida right now are these neutral zone infractions. 2 that's been called in this game so far, but now moving 5 yards forward inside the red zone, this might be a penalty that Florida will surely pay for after this if the trend continues on this Indianapolis drive. Now it's going to be a 1st and 5 where they only really need to get 7 yards to the end zone.
From that 7-yard line, Colin Pierce in the gun. He's got Christian off to his left, looking to throw. Near side, quick hitter Roosevelt that's caught for 2 yards as he stumbles out of bounds at the 5.
Yeah, and Florida probably has to start thinking of goal line defenses just to prevent anybody from getting in the end zone at this point. You're pretty much in a goal scenario for Indianapolis's offense because the first down marker is at basically the 2. So it doesn't matter what happens here. They're probably looking end zone no matter what after this. You've got at least two more plays to stop them from scoring.
3 wide handoff in the backfield in a hurry. Untouched was Pete Mitchell.
Yeah, just a clear-cut path for Pete Mitchell to get to the running back, and that offensive line for Indianapolis starting to crumble here in a big moment for them where Indianapolis wants to extend that lead up to 11 if they can, but you can't allow this elite defensive line to get to your running back.
Another run through the middle this time.
That's
Christian
short.
Tried to get the first with lowering his shoulder, but to deny him was Adam Jones, and it's 4th and 1 from the 3.
And it's decision time for Indianapolis. You're at the 3-yard line. Are you going to settle for a 20-yard field goal, or are you going to try here on 4th and 1?
They bring back out the offense here in a short yardage situation. Very aggressive, it would seem. Goal line defense from Florida. Here comes Colin Pierce and the Ramblers. 10 seconds to go on the play clock. Will they? Won't they? And it seems they're going to try and catch him offside, and it's not going to happen. A very disciplined and well-coached Florida will not jump offsides this time, and Indianapolis is forced to use one of those 3 timeouts.
And I don't like that decision from Indianapolis to, use that, basically be forced to use that timeout because the game is still close, and you have to think in the back of your mind in a scenario that if Florida gets back and takes the lead in this game, and you're trying to get back on some 2-minute drill, and you only got 2 timeouts left, it forces your hand to go hurry up, which has been off and on so far for them. But nonetheless, here's a field goal attempt here for Indianapolis just from 20 yards out.
And it's the rookie out of Madison, Juniper Belson, on to try and attempt his first field goal of his career. This one, a chip shot from 20 yards out. It's up and good, and Indianapolis breaks open the lead back out to 7 points. It's 17-10. There's so much more to do in the SFL than just being a player. Join our Discord server to check out content for teams and about the league created by the community. Participate in Pick'em games, play SFL Fantasy Football, and test your skills in the Survivor Pool. To join our server, visit simulationfl.net and click the Discord icon on the top banner. The SFL community 2,000 strong will see you there. Optimus Klein able to return that one out to the 26. And that is where Florida's offense will take over. There's only been 1 touchdown in the game for them, that coming on an Andrew Francis pick 6. But this offense has struggled to move the ball. We'll see if the halftime adjustments have made any impact. Cochran looking for an out route. Bush,
Oh.
and that one is dropped. Tried to spin to avoid a tackle, and maybe was thinking too much about maybe getting hit instead of hauling the ball in.
And Bush has been that reliable option on the out route for Florida in this first half, and this time he kind of drops that football. Like you said, probably focusing too much on opposing players other than catching the football. And, a 2nd and 10 isn't ideal for this Florida offense that desperately needs to wake up here.
Out in the same formation here on 2nd down. Linebackers showing blitz. They back off. Cochran now looking over the middle. That one is caught. Down the field goes Minson. He's being chased by Rockefeller. Rockefeller can't take him down. Touchdown, Florida. And just like that, lightning strikes for 74 yards.
One play is all Florida needs to get their offense back in rolling. And what a way to spark that offense other than 70-plus yards to old, reliable E.J. Minson, a guy that I have seen throughout the years become more and more of a superstar wide receiver, not only for Florida, but for the entirety of this SFL. A big way to possibly tie this game for the Storm.
Well, how about that for a halftime adjustment? Out comes and Sneed to try and tack home the extra point. Snap spot, kick is up, and we're back to level peggings, 17 apiece.
And how about that? One play is almost as many passing yards as they had in the entire first half. Great adjustment for Florida. Now the game is tied, and now it's gut check time for Indianapolis. How are you going to respond from a big play from the Storm?
So here we go again. Rockefeller deep to return, handles it cleanly at his own goal line, follows his blockers through the middle of the field, taken down at the 22-yard line. 7 minutes, 7 seconds to go here in the third quarter. It's now gotten extremely tight. Not a whole lot to really pick apart between these two teams. Both offenses now playing extremely well here in the second half.
Yeah, now it's the defenses to start, shutting things down depending on which side that you're on. So right now, Florida's defense, the offense scored a touchdown. In response, get a 3-and-out.
Pierce finds Randy Pierce. Somehow, Pierce snags it off the back of the defender and moves the chains.
You got C2R calling to Randy, and right now that has been such a great connection so far. Probably easily one of the best quarterback tight end combos this week here for Colin and Randy, as right now, 4th reception, we're talking about over 60 yards for Randy Pierce now at 61, and he has been the main guy to get those key first downs for Indianapolis so far in this game.
Offset single back, opposite the direction of those two tight ends as Pierce looking to throw. Out route is caught by the back. Up tight end, Dodge Daytona. And we shoot it back to Cam and Irvine in the studios for another game break from Minnesota.
Thank you, Tyler. As Suda Nakai said in the chat, all you need is love. And just before the end of the first half, Ezekiel Love from 77 yards away shifts his way to the sideline and scores. Minnesota tacks on another field goal. They got 4 tonight. It's 14-12 in the third as Indy continues their drive. Back to you, Tyler.
Thanks, Cam. It's Randy Pierce picking up another big reception from the tight end spot. Reception number 5.
Yeah, and that's big here. They need to continue moving forward, this Indianapolis offense, and get that response to a big 74-yarder for Ron Cochran to E.J. Minson here.
Pierce goes over 250 passing yards tonight. Allen looking for the underneath route to Banfield. That one is caught. Picks up 5. Stephen Black there in on the tackle.
Yeah, and what I'm liking so far from Indianapolis is that they aren't changing their philosophy right now offensively. They're just, peppering in throws here and there, a deep throw every now and again, continue that offense. Last season, we saw a lot of early adjustments from Indianapolis that shook them early, which caused them to score low numbers in certain games.
Other hitter underneath for Banfield. He's got this one, and Blacks there again. It's deja vu, except it's one fewer yard this time around.
Yeah, now it's a 3rd and 1, and right now let's go back to the 3rd down conversions. We're talking about 3 of 5 for Indianapolis in this first half. Now they got a 3rd down opportunity against this Florida defense that right now has notoriously not been great on third downs allowed on this.
They go to a battle in the trenches as Christian Pierce fights his way forward, fights out of the tackle of Ryan Tobin, and it's a 1st down for the Ramblers.
You know, Christian Pierce isn't going to have those flashy numbers compared to, other running backs when you think of, like, the Robert Redfords and the Ezekiel Loves. We just saw him run 77 yards in our game break earlier. But Christian Pierce, he's going to get you that 1st downs when you need them.
We're back to the ground game, but it's big, sexy Alex Dominguez with one of his first tackles for loss tonight.
Yeah, and what Florida needs to continue to do is get those tackles for loss. Now that Florida has their 9th TFL in this game, that has been their shining factor in keeping Indianapolis's defense a little bit shut down since, halfway through the 2nd quarter.
After going backward on 1st down, they spread the field with 4 wide receivers on 2nd and 12. Slants over the middle. That one is caught. And there's the reception for Randy Pierce again. He brings it into 3rd and inches.
Yeah, and they'll take 3rd and inches at this point. They're already well within field goal range at this point, getting it inside the 30-yard line. That's definitely a great marker for their kicker to get a decent field goal out of it, but they're going to want more. It's 3rd and inches. I would rely on Christian Pierce again to get that 1st down.
Offensive line shifts in the weak direction. Run does go that way as Pierce cannot get out of a tackle. Excellent pursuit by Aaron Gooden, who's also in our stat struck this evening. He gets the tackle for loss as he's pulling double duty.
And Florida's defense really stacked that left side of Indianapolis's offense, and that should have been a guess for Indianapolis to switch it to the other side and get Christian Pierce to run right, but they stick left, hoping that Pierce can kind of power his way for that 1st down, and it doesn't work, and now we're going to see the field goal unit out for another 3-point attempt.
As we mentioned, our statisticians, of course, have to thank Aaron Gooden, Ron Haynes, and Top Kiefer in the stat struck this evening, helping us out all night long. Thank you, gentlemen, as the field goal from Juniper Belson is good, and Indianapolis retake the lead.
And it's not too bad getting a field goal out of this, but you have to think in the back of your minds, Florida's starting to roll here offensively, especially they don't one play 74 yards, get into the end zone. You can't settle on field goals all the time, but you'll take them whenever you can get them. Juniper Belson, now 2 for 2 in her debut for the Indianapolis Ramblers. What a great way to start her SFL career.
The kickoff is on its way. Optimus Klein at his own 5-yard line brings it out, trying to go straight through defenders, and he is speared at the 26-yard line. The SFL is back with the biggest games and the best coverage of the Simulation Football League every Monday night, all season long. Join Cameron Irvine, Paul Sarp, and SFL content creators for This Week in the SFL Pregame, taking you around the league with highlights, analysis, interviews, hot takes, and more. Then, settle in to watch the San Diego Mavericks host the London Knights. It all starts at 7 p.m. Eastern, Monday night, right here on SFL YouTube. And that's another incomplete pass to Stephen Bush on an identical-looking play to the last drive.
Tyler, this is going to be Groundhog Day if I see E.J. Minson on a post route on the left side getting wide open for another 64-yard touchdown. So watch out for this one here, and be prepared on that side. Minson's on the top of your screen, 83. Watch out for that post route if it happens.
All eyes glued to Minson now as he makes a double move. As they look over the middle, it is hit out of the air. 2 bodies collide, and the ball falls to the turf.
Yeah, and that's a big adjustment from the Indianapolis defense. You can see the safeties and 2 linebackers moving back, and Wiseman maybe had his fingertips on the football that changed the trajectory of the football heading Optimus Klein's way, but nonetheless Bryant James does a good job to at least secure a hit to prevent any catch from happening afterwards. Now forces a third down where Florida's been 0 for 5 or 0 for 6 in this game.
Can they get off the third down schneid? We're about to find out. 4 wide receivers, Cochran. Indy send the blitz, and they get to Cochran in the backfield. A loss of 8. The first sack of the season goes to Derek Junko, and it's 4th down.
Yeah, and Indianapolis does a great response after Florida had that hyper-dynamic first drive in the second half, forcing Florida to punt this football away once again, see if they can extend themselves a lead here or shed as much clock as possible, because no lead is safe in this league, no matter if it's 3 or 30 points.
And so Marcus Agrippa will start at his own 2-yard line to punt this one away. Worst position that he's had to stand at all night tonight, as Rockefeller's back deep to return near his own 40-yard line. Makes a nice spin move. He fumbled the ball, but it's recovered by Indianapolis. A heads-up play from a fifth-string wide receiver, Rocco McLovin, and it keeps the ball in Indianapolis's hands.
Exactly as you said, it's just great awareness, seeing the football go loose. And, you know, I've only seen that a couple times throughout Rockefeller's career where he's had a spin move and it's just popped loose on a hit. So he's very lucky that it didn't go the other way for Florida.
So Colin Pierce stands in the gun, looking out route near side, caught by Roosevelt, 4-yard pickup.
Don't need to do anything pretty still, this Indianapolis offense. They know what's working right now. They can be throw those short passes every now and again, and then air it long when the opportunity comes. They don't have to do anything pretty, anything flashy. Just make sure that they continue moving forward. That is Indianapolis's mentality right now.
Under 1:30 to go here in the third quarter. Indy up by 3, 2nd and 6. Here for the Ramblers on their own 49. 2 wideouts top of your screen. They go with a run near side by Christian Pierce. Nothing doing. Taken down in the backfield by Aaron Gooden.
Yeah, and if the one thing that Florida's done well in this third quarter for sure has been shutting down Christian Pierce entirely. He's only got 5 yards rushing in this third quarter so far as we tick down to the final minute here in this third quarter. So they're really trying to focus on making Indianapolis one-dimensional.
Pierce over the middle, and it's tipped up and incomplete. He was looking for double R, and it's Gooden again making the deflection.
And you know what? I don't mind that play there because it's been working throughout this game, getting Ryan Roosevelt open. This time, Florida had the wherewithal to adjust, have 2 safeties back as well as a corner. So that ended up being a 1-on-3 after the pass was thrown in the air. Great job from Florida to get this football back before the end of the quarter.
And so out comes Matty Wiseman to punt this one away. Klein will elect to return it near his own 15, brings it out past the 20, and dragged down at the 25-yard line. 39 seconds to go. Now the Florida defense comes up with a good stop. They're only down by 3 as we close in on the end of the third quarter part.
Yeah, now we're going back to shifting to Florida's side. You've got the football back, and now we're starting to get into this smash mouth kind of slugfest between these two defenses. Which one is going to, kind of step back and allow another team to score a big one?
9 men in the box here for Indy on first down. They get to Cochran in a hurry, but he's able to get the pass off, which flutters the turf. Jenko again looking for a sack.
Yeah, and Cochran just barely moving that arm forward enough to not have that considered a fumble. We can talk about in real life how that's happened in the league where, fumbles are called just, through the motion of a pass. But this time he just does enough to get his arm forward to at least get that ball off for an incompletion.
Take a look at Beletsky's numbers tonight. He's got 0 rushing yards in this third quarter, and he ain't going to get any more here. In fact, he's going to lose a yard.
Yeah, and we're talking about, minus 1 yard so far in this third quarter. But the big key here is that Florida has only given Beletsky the ball now 6 times in this game. That's very unorthodox. We're used to seeing 20-plus carries from the Bullet.
They will more than likely go to the air here on 3rd and 11. Deep drop blitz coming. Pass
Open.
left. Caught. Minson first down. 38-yard line. As that will take us to the end of the third quarter. Indianapolis 20, Florida 17. As we pause for station identification, you're watching the Simulation Football League on SFL YouTube.
Of the Simulation Football League is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or account of the game without the express written consent of the league office is prohibited.
Welcome back to Indianapolis. Tyler Falk, Brett Solberg. We've got a good one going here in week 1 of season 20 of the SFL. So glad you decided to join us here on your Sunday evening. Cochran under pressure, looking right-hand side for Bush. And that's the third straight incompletion to Stephen Bush.
Yeah, and it looks like right now, after those two, drops from Bush, Cochran's starting to lose faith in Stephen Bush on that out route. Like you said, the third time on that out route that an incompletion has been made. This time, he throws a little bit too far on the sidelines for Bush to stay in bounds. So we might be seeing a little bit more of maybe Optimus Klein in this first quarter instead of Bush.
Letsky now getting involved in the passing game. Oh, what a hit! Nearly got his head taken off by Chad McDevitt.
Yeah, and after that spin move, you were thinking that Boletsky was going to, have an open field to kind of run into. Nah, no way, Indianapolis says. A bone-jarring hit to stop them. 3rd and 5. 0 for 6 is Florida. Can they make it 1 for 7? Can they convert on 3rd down?
Cochran, play action, looking right side, and it's caught. First down, Florida Storm, and it's Ron Haynes who picks it up.
And if you want to start converting 3rd downs, you want to do them in the 4th quarter. Start things off hot, which is what you want to do in this opportunity. You're down 3. Get a great catch from Optimus Klein out of this. Like I said, he's probably going to be the main benefactor instead of Stephen Bush now that the faith might be a little bit lost after 3 incompletions his side. So it might be Minson and Klein moving forward.
My apologies to Optimus on that last play, but he picks up the first 3rd down of season 20 in the pass over the middle, looking for Vardan Zarkov, incomplete. Probably a little bit of pressure from the interior.
Yeah, and we've seen that a couple times in this game, especially in the first quarter. We've seen 2 overthrows to Zarkov that resulted, in 4th down punts for Florida here. But this one, not too risky of a pass, I would say, because they haven't done it in a while, and a good way to get Zarkov involved in this 4th quarter.
Wide receivers, offset single back from Florida. 4-3 look out of Indy. Pressure coming, and Cochran is just been hounded in this second half, partner. He cannot set and throw at all, it seems like, after that long touchdown.
No, it seemed like after maybe 2 seconds that pocket that Ron Cochran had was almost non-existent at this point. He had barely any breathing room, and he was lucky to get that ball out of his hands again.
Another 3rd down, converted on 1 on the drive already. Can they convert a second time? Blitz coming from Indy. Cochran over the middle, deflected away by Rockapella, and it's 4th down, and it looks like Florida is going to have to punt.
Yeah, and at the 41-yard line, that's way too far of a field goal, unfortunately, for their own kicker, in the form of Ethan Sneed. He's a 7-year veteran in this league, but that's going to be a 58-yarder at the end of the day. That's just too far for him. So Florida's going to have to force to punt this and hopefully get them deep. Let's see if Agrippa can grip the ball in the 5.
One of the best punters in the league. An all-star last season, sets this one. It bounces with a hands team. Drags it into the end zone, down for a touchback. 8 p.m. Music is unrivaled music to bring your stories to life, inspiring every production with the world's most robust and constantly refreshed music collection, state-of-the-art technology, and world-class customer service. 8 p.m. Music is the official soundtrack of the Simulation Football League. To explore their library and to find the perfect tracks for your projects, visit 8pmmusic.com. First play will be a pass underneath the Christian Pearson. He is leveled behind the line, a loss of 1.
Yeah, I think now, after the second time that it hasn't worked in this game, I think that halfback screen is going to be eliminated from the playbook come next week, because that has resulted in 5 yards lost in just 2 plays on that halfback screen, just because there's no protection for Christian Pierce to run that football forward.
Ouch, great analysis there, partner. 4 wide receivers here on 2nd and 11. 3 to the left, 1 to the right. Colin, quick hitter underneath. It is caught for no gain, but it is Rob Hunt's first career reception. Dropped 2 earlier, and he finally gets on the stat sheet.
And I think he stole this one from Ryan Roosevelt, because he was in the same vicinity, basically, touching shoulder pads at this point, and it'll depend on who's going to get the hands on that football. And Rob Hunt managed to get his first catch of the season.
Big drop, Viper hauls it in with one hand, but Stephen Black denies any more forward progress. A pickup of 9, 2 yards shy, punter incoming.
And we go back to that first down play and how key it was for Florida to stop Christian Pierce behind the line and result in a 2-yard loss on that one. If that was a regular 3rd and 10 or a 3rd and 8 or something like that, Indianapolis would have that first down with that Jay Viper catch. Instead, it's 4th and 2. They're punting the football away, and Florida could have great spot on the football pending this punt.
Punt is away from Matty Wiseman. Optimus on the return. Nice little spin move into the inside. That's a pickup of 5, but we got a man down. It's Angel Maldonado, one of the star corners here for Indianapolis. Very slow to get up.
And he's one of their slot safeties as well, so that possibly, if he can't get back into this game, could result in one of Florida's slot receivers getting open a little bit more. So I'd be looking at Optimus Klein, or how about this? We haven't talked about Art Vandelay yet in this game. He's only got 1 target to his name. This might be a time for him to get involved in this 4th quarter.
So that means the first round pick, Adam Knoll, the 4th-string corner, is going to have a lot more pressure put on him in 3 wide receiver scenarios until Maldonado comes back. Pass is nearly taken away from the get-go. Bryant James with a diving deflection.
And he has been dynamic throughout this game. We've talked about him, with, key hits to prevent passes. He's had a great pass deflection earlier in this game. He gets his second one here that, honestly, that should have been an interception from the get-go, because he read that pass like a book, and that should have been intercepted, but here we are, 2nd and 10 instead.
Now here's the first 3 wide set after the injury to the cornerback. Cochran over the middle. It is intercepted by Indianapolis, taken away by Rockefeller, and Indianapolis get the ball back.
And there is the momentum shift that Indianapolis wanted here. And why not trust in the 12-season veteran, Kanye Rockefeller, your main return man, your main free safety, getting himself his first interception this season to get Indianapolis back out on offense with a 3-point lead.
Kanye says, yes. Here to pick off Ron Cochran as Colin Pierce passes to Christian Pierce, and Pierce turns upfield and picks up 7 yards before being taken out by Stephen Black.
Yeah, and they need to continue, not veering away from that offensive mindset that they've had throughout this game. It's resulted in Colin Pierce getting close to 300 yards passing in this game, now at 305, so he's surpassed the 300-yard marker for him, and Christian Pierce has been good in moments where they need first downs.
Offset single back. Colin looks to throw near side. Open is the wide receiver Banfield for a first down. They continue to move the chains, and although the clock stops, partner, they have dominated in time of possession. Just in the 3rd quarter alone, they took off 9 minutes and 10 seconds off the clock.
Yeah, and that's pushed them forward now, including this 4th quarter possession, nearly close to 25 minutes with the football, and that's what you want to get to win games.
Roosevelt in on the reception on the out route. Another 7-yard pickup on a first down play as they inch closer to the midfield stripe.
Yeah, and right now, this is what Indianapolis wants here. Again, not veering away from this offense, spreading the wealth. We know that Roosevelt has 10 receptions in this game at this point, but Jeff Banfield and Randy Pierce have 6. Jay Viper and Christian Pierce have 4 of their own. That's a perfect spread of wealth, I'd say.
Pass near side. That one is another catch. They deja vu us. They go back-to-back double plays, an out route left side to Roosevelt, an out route right side to Banfield, and they keep the sticks moving.
Yeah, and this is big for Indianapolis to keep, having that Florida defense guess where that football's going to go to next, because it's not going to be Roosevelt all the time. Jay Viper is going to get himself open with his elusiveness, as well as Randy Pierce with his power running.
Viper running a slant pattern. They look for Randy. Spins out of a tackle to the 30-yard line. A great pitch and catch from son to father. And we go back to SFL headquarters with another game break from Minnesota. Cam? Check that. My apologies. As Pierce gets on the board, partner. What a pitch and catch. It's that familial connection.
Yeah, and now 3 straight passes from this Indianapolis offense to 3 different targets. Roosevelt, Banfield, and now Randy Pierce getting involved in this drive.
The 31-yard line, another 1st and 10, quick drop. Shoots it out left side. That's Banfield picking up another 8 yards on the play. Colin Pierce, well over 330 passing yards tonight on 41 attempts.
Yeah, and in this drive alone, he's already threatening for 350 here. He's already in talks for being maybe part of SFL's Team of the Week here with his performance. 35 of 41 so far.
Be the brother connection this time as the handoff for Christian Pierce, fighting off defenders, picking up a 1st down.
And that one could possibly be debatable for Florida here if they want to challenge on that 1st down. Maybe it's just, my eyes shifting forward and looking between different screens and onto the field. But that was a pretty close 1st down call here. But nonetheless, here we are, 1st and 10, practically in red zone territory.
Art has had a couple of times where he could have thrown his red handkerchief, but he's kept the flag in his pocket. Colin over the middle, Roosevelt there with the reception, picking up 5. And now we go to Minnesota with the game break.
Thank you, Tyler. Johnny Reno does not have a touchdown in this game. He hands it off to Colin Hart for this score, but he's 33 of 34 passing, and Minnesota's starting to pull away, but might want to check that game out after this one. 26-17 in the 4th to Minnesota.
How about the legend? Thank you, Cam. Handoff. Christian Pierce near side. Only a gain of 1 as Stephen Black picks up tackle number 9 tonight.
Yeah, and this is going to be an interesting scenario here for Indianapolis. So far in this second half, they're 1 for 5 on 3rd down opportunities. They've kind of slowed things down on the conversion department. Can they get themselves a 1st down to continue that drive and maybe get some more points on the board?
Quick pass over the middle, caught and fumbled in the end zone. It's pulled on. Touchdown, Ryan Roosevelt. Somehow, Indianapolis back out to a 9-point lead.
If I'm Art Vandelay, I'm throwing that red flag as soon as possible here, because I think that's an incompletion. I don't know if he had secure feet after catching that football, and you can see right there, that's a tough one. I'd be throwing up the red flag myself out of this, and there we see it.
And finally, Art Vandelay throws the red flag, and now R62, along with the rest of us, go under the hood to take a second look at this one.
And the key here is to focus on the footwork on this catch. He's only got 1 foot down. I see on that fumble. I think it's an incompletion.
This is very borderline R62.
After review, the receiver did have possession.
And it goes Florida's way. Incomplete is the call. And I think R62 got that one right.
Yeah, call me 1 for 1 this season on this one. It might be the only time I get a challenge right on this one, knowing my track record. But that is so key for Florida. It prevents 6 and forces possibly only 3 points from Indianapolis on this drive.
And so, out comes the kicker, Juniper Belson, to try and tack home their third field goal of the night. A 31-yarder is up and good, and so instead of maybe a 9, maybe 10-point lead, it's now a 6-point lead. 23-17 Ramblers. The first divisional games of Season 20 kick off next Friday night. First, the Atlanta Swarm, fresh off a win over Seattle, heads to Florida to take on the rival Storm at 8 p.m. Eastern. Later in the hour, Alamo City plays the SFL's first game in San Antonio since 2018, when the Artillery face the Toros of Fort Worth. Don't miss a minute of the 13-game slate in Week 2, starting Friday night, right here on SFL YouTube. Optimus Klein, the return man, gets it through the middle to the 27-yard line, and now it's a big ask for Florida's offense, who have only had one true touchdown scoring drive.
Yeah, and right now for Florida, 3.5 left in the game. I'd be using all 3 minutes and 37 seconds to score a touchdown. All you need is 7 points to win this game.
It's a big ask. ASK there, Suno Nakai. Pressure coming. Down goes Ron Cochran on a simile of ask. And now it's 2nd and 17 after the loss of 7.
Not a good start for Florida here. Now 2nd and 17.
Cochran again looking to throw a little bit of maybe miscommunication. It looked like the tight end Barden Zarkov got bumped off his route. Incomplete.
Yeah, that could be a possible argument for defensive pass interference, but like you said, you could also make the argument that the receiver wasn't even ready at all for that pass to be thrown his way. And again, Zarkov has been basically a non-factor in this second half, which has hurt Florida's offense in the second half.
3rd and the Florida Panhandle for the Storm. Pressure coming. Down he goes again. Derek Drenko with a huge 6-yard sack. And the Florida offense has to retreat to the sideline.
Man, that is 3 key sacks in the second half from Indianapolis. 2 coming from Derek Genko out of this. And they're forced to punt this football away so deep into territory. And they're going to get this football before the 2-minute warning, which means Indianapolis has time to ice this one if they can shed as much clock as they can.
And the punt is away from Agrippa inside his own end zone. Rockefeller this time keeps 2 hands on the football and brings it up to Indy's best starting field position of the ball game at their own 47-yard line. And now, partner, with under 3 minutes to go, they've done well with taking as much clock off as possible. They have to do it again here.
Yeah, and right now I'd be looking at just short dump passes to the sidelines, making sure you stay in bounds, and then on 2nd and 3rd and short, trust on Christian Pierce to push it forward.
And they'll try and push forward with Pierce on 1st down. Fighting off 2 tacklers is eventually cut down at the 49-yard line of Florida, picks up 3.
Yeah, and right now, the focus is probably defensively just shutting down Christian Pierce. You're probably going to see a lot of touches from him just to shed some clock. This is probably going to be they might shed this clock off to get to the 2-minute warning because there's just enough game clock to get it to 2 minutes.
It's going to be tight as we close in on the 2-minute warning. They will elect to snap it. Left side, Pierce. This time goes backward a yard as he is taken down by Gooden, and that will bring us to the 2-minute warning. 23-17, Indianapolis trying to hold on. Stay with us, folks. You're watching SFL Sunday Night Football here on SFL YouTube, presented by 8 p.m. Music. Don't tab out just yet. 2 minutes to go here from the Snake Pit. Indianapolis from midfield, looking to get to Florida's 42-yard line for the 1st down. Colin Pierce tucks it short to Jay Pfeiffer. He's got a lot of room to go, and he ain't going to get there. Picks up 5 as Florida call their first timeout, stopping the clock with 1:55.
And this is where, the decision of still taking that play with 2:06 left in the fourth quarter maybe have not done well for Indianapolis, because they could have gone in second down at the 2-minute warning instead of 3rd and 8. But here we are. Indianapolis has to force this football to be punted deep and force Florida to go the entire field to get their score.
Matty Wiseman's biggest punt of the game will be called for a fair catch by Optimus Klein at his own 13. And we've seen Ron Cochran through the seasons and years, partner, make comeback drive after comeback drive. Tonight, he's sub 50% completion percentage. That has to change right here, right now. He's under center, 4 wide receivers, and he's got 87 yards to go. 1st and 10. Blitz coming. Pass over the middle. It's Zarkov. He picks up 9 as Florida rush back to the line.
Yeah, that's what they have to do at this point. You're so far to the end zone, you got to go hurry up to start things off.
Another blitz coming from Indy. Corner route. Nearly one-handed picked by Ernest McCray, but it falls incomplete after he deflected it.
And a good adjustment from McCray Sr. as well, because you can see that he got beat entirely by Stephen Bush, but he just extends his hand out, and all these corners in this league have, long arms to reach that football. All he needs is a couple fingers to change the direction of where that football is going to land, and that's all they needed. Now it's 3rd and 1 for a Florida team that has struggled all game on 3rd down conversions. 2 of 10. Can they get their 3rd conversion of the game here?
They need it in the worst way. Cochran in the gun, near side, Minson, yes. 1st down on 3rd down for only the 3rd time in the ball game.
And the more important thing here is that it got the clock to stop here. And that's going to be big for them, so they can, reset themselves, change a new formation, and get themselves ready for their next play instead of trying to hurry things up.
4 wideouts, empty backfield again. Boletsky has been non-existent in this second half. Cochran, right side for Bush. There's a reception for Steven. He's taken down before he can get out of bounds. Clock will roll.
Now they're stuck with this formation here, but this isn't too bad. They've got Klein on the inside slot there.
Post route over the middle, caught. 1st down to the 48-yard line. They're hustling back to the line. It's Optimus Klein on the reception, as you saw, partner.
Yeah, and now they're at midfield. This is what Florida wants.
Blake Prine hustling back to his corner spot in the near side. Cochran, they're looking to throw. They send 5. Over the middle, it's Zarkov. Caught. 1st down inside Indy's 40-yard line. Under a minute to go.
Yeah, they want to keep relying on Zarkov here. He's going to be a big body to throw that football to.
Looking deep over the middle again. It's caught by Klein. 1st down just outside the red zone. They're knocking on the door. They hurry back to the line again.
Less than 40 seconds left. They have unlimited options right now.
All slant play over the middle. It is deflected off the helmet of the corner, McCray Sr.
Yeah, and that's a big stop from Angel Maldonado, who is back in this game, mind you, after that injury from earlier, and that's got to be a big boost for this Indianapolis defense here. And the more important thing is that it stops things for Florida to, that momentum gets stopped just temporarily so they can reset for 2nd down.
Set with the same exact formation. 3-2 dime out of Indianapolis. Cochran over the middle. It is incomplete. Into double coverage, finding Bush. And unfortunately for Steven, he's been targeted 13 times now. He's only caught 6.
Yeah, and again, we got to give credit to that strong safety in the back there. Bryant James did a great job in, getting to Bush and making that a 1-on-2. And there might have been some bump, coverage on that one at the end of the day, but it still results in an incompletion and again results in a 3rd down opportunity here for Florida.
Looking at 4-down territory no matter what happens. Deep drop from Cochran looking right side. It's Bush with another reception. They'll rule him in bounds, and so Florida are going to use their 2nd timeout with 24 seconds to go.
Yeah, and that was just a result of none of the Florida receivers deep down the field getting open, so he had to go with his check down option, which was the medium out to Stephen Bush. His first catch on a medium out in a while, and now it's 4th and 6.
4th down. Florida need a chance. Cochran, deep ball, end zone, caught to Minson, but they rule him out of bounds. Indy takes over, and this is going to be reviewed by the booth, I would think.
This has to be reviewed. Just looking at Minson here, he's got to have 1 foot in. I don't know. I can't tell from that angular perspective. I think it might have been half a foot out, unfortunately, for Florida. And it looks like...
It will not be reviewed, partner. Indy takes over, and it's ball game.
That's a close call. We're gonna have to look at this one after the game in the booth here to see if that 1 foot was half out. But right now, Indianapolis is going to slither out of the snake pit with their first win of the season here, and a big change of momentum for them after only winning 3 last season to start things off with the dub.
An incredible opening game for both clubs, but it's the Indianapolis Ramblers who will improve in week 1 games to 1-1 with the win over Florida. Florida, it looks like the curse is back. They fall to 2-5 as the Florida Storm, and it is the Ramblers who take victory here at home 23-17 in a fantastic display from Colin Pierce.
Just unbelievable work from Colin Pierce, and that's probably carrying over from his great effort in the final week last season where he had 318 yards. Now he finished this game with 354 on 84% completion percentage and a QBR just under 100. That's what you need out of your quarterback, and that is what led Indianapolis to offensive success. But let's give credit where credit is due. That Indianapolis defense played a huge part, especially in the early stages of that 4th quarter. Take away that quick 2-minute drill for Florida's offense, they were at 3 yards for the entire 4th quarter, and it took that 2-minute drill to get Florida back on a good positive level, getting 82 passing yards. The big key here on that defense, the rushing yards allowed in the 3 of the 4 quarters. 2nd quarter -3, 3rd quarter -1, 4th quarter donut. Great work from Indianapolis' defense, and you have to think moving forward that defense is going to get even more deadly as the season goes on.
A very solid start to the season for the Ramblers. They will travel to Tulsa on Saturday to take on the Desperados. That game will start at 6:45 p.m. Eastern. Meanwhile, Florida, they will go back home and they take on the Atlanta Swarm at the Eye on our first game of week 2. That game taking place at 8 p.m. Eastern on Friday. And don't forget, tomorrow, we've got San Diego and London at 7 p.m. Eastern to close out week 1. We hope to see you all there. It's been a fun one, everybody. For my partner, Brett Solberg. Partner, real quick, who's your player of the game?
It's got to be Colin Pierce.
I would think so too. No, they give it to Double R, Ryan Roosevelt. 12 receptions, 152 yards, and a touchdown. And now for my partner, Brett Solberg, our statisticians for this evening, Aaron Gooden, Ron Haynes, and Top Kiefer. And for our producer and SFL commissioner, Cameron Irvine, I've been Tyler Falk. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a good night. And until next time, good morning, good afternoon, and good night.
The first of many incredible games this season, Tyler. Bidoo.